Forgiveness isn't about you, it's about God. Because if God forgave you, you should be able to forgive someone else. It may be difficult, but you don't forgive them because they deserve it. You forgive them because you was forgiven by God when you didn't deserve it. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, I'm Lakeishaa, and if you're not new, welcome back. Today we're going to be getting into a topic about allowing God to steer your life. God does not need your help in order to direct you. All he needs is your submission and your obedience. But without further ado, let's just get into the video. Where are you? Just because you feel as though you've hit rock bottom, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes rock bottom means that you're about to be redirected. Sometimes hitting rock bottom is really just hitting redirection in your life. Sometimes God needs you to get to a stage in your life where you have exhausted all other options and your only option is to rely on him. You see, we get so busy trying to control our lives and be in control of our life that we forget that there's actually someone who is actually in control of our life and someone else is trying to steer our life. But we're so busy trying to make things happen. We're so busy trying to keep up to our own timelines. We're so busy trying to make this happen, make that happen, trying to become this, trying to become that, trying to do this and that we now become too busy and we become too loud in order to hear what God's really saying or to allow God to direct us. Because God could be telling you to go to B, but you're so busy trying to make yourself get to C, and you're frustrated and tired and you feel as though you've got to a place where you don't even know what you want to do with your life. And sometimes that's because you haven't let God direct you to where you're meant to be, or you haven't allowed yourself to do what God's told you to do. And many a time we get to those stages where we're frustrated, we're tired, and we're thinking, okay, what am I going to do with my life? Where should I go from here? Or how come it seems as though nothing works in my life? Why do I feel frustrated at every single turn? Or I feel as though I'm giving 100 but I'm only getting back 50%. Like, what is it that I'm meant to be doing? Why do I feel as though I'm just misdirected? I feel as though everything I try just doesn't work. And it's time to let go and let God. It's time to let go of your own will. Let go of what you want to do. Let go of trying to make things happen and allow God to make things happen. Because it's only God that can piece your life together and lead you to where you're meant to go. Because imagine if someone created you, you've got to go to your creator and ask him, okay, what am I meant to do? Where am I meant to go? But sometimes we make decisions without God. We make choices without God's approval. And then we get ourselves in a little jam and we're like, okay, God, I need help. And he's like, well, I mean, if you would have asked me for help in the beginning, you wouldn't be where you are now. And many a time that could be relationships, that could be jobs, that could be going to places that the spirit was telling us not to go to, and now we've gone and something bad happens or we regret going. And I know this happened to me a lot of times where I've entered relationships with men and it hasn't worked out, and during the relationship, deep down I know that this is not approved by God, but still I'm praying to God saying I hope this works out, or and God's saying I'm not in this. And you've got to make sure that everything you do, God is in it. The book of Exodus is a perfect example of where God says, I will send my angel with you, when he said that to Moses. And Moses said, I won't go unless you go with us, because how will they know that you sent us unless you go with us? You see, certain things that God has not ordained or God is not happy with, his presence will not be there. He will not be there. God is everywhere, but the manifestation of his presence will not be in that thing. And that's because he doesn't approve of it. So you need to always make sure that every decision you make, every relationship you enter, every place you go, that God has ordained it. Because if not, then you could be by yourself, and being by yourself is where bad things happen, calamity happens, and God will always protect you and try and redirect you back to him. But certain things have to happen because that's a result of your disobedience or a result of you not allowing him to lead you. So I just want to encourage you that whatever you do in your life, allow God to lead you. Ask for his approval first. Ask God, is this what you want me to do? Is this where you want me to go? Is this something that you want me to get into or to start? Because if you don't ask God where you're meant to be or what you should do, then you will find yourself in places that you shouldn't be in. You know, Jonah was another perfect example in the Bible of someone that wanted to do his own thing, that didn't want to do what God wanted him to do, and he just met calamity, he just met frustrations, he just met so much negativity, and that was all because he went in a different direction than where God was telling him to go. God was telling him to go to a certain place, and he was thinking, nah man, I don't want to go there, I don't want to do that. Why should I have to do that? Why should I have to go to a place and show mercy on those people? They deserve to rot. Sometimes people have done you dirty, and because you don't think they deserve your forgiveness, you're now in a situation yourself. Sometimes someone else has wronged you and you know God's telling you to forgive them, but you're thinking, I can't forgive them, they done me dirty, they don't deserve that. And now your life is not as smooth as you want it to be because you're holding them in your heart. And what you need to realize is forgiveness isn't about you, it's about God. Because if God forgave you, you should be able to forgive someone else. It may be difficult, but you don't forgive them because they deserve it. You forgive them because you was forgiven by God when you didn't deserve it. You know, and that's one thing we don't realize, is that certain things that we're meant to be doing is not because we want to be doing it, not because someone else deserves us to do it, but because God has done it for us, so we should do it for others. Because if God be for us, who can be against us? You know, I think as human beings, we can naturally be selfish, because human beings naturally think about what we want. We are made up of emotions. Our minds always tell us do this and that. We're trying to work out logic, but sometimes in order to be aligned with God and to do things that God is telling us to do, it's not about logic. It's about faith. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Meaning that you can't comprehend faith. Faith is a spiritual thing. You can't comprehend it. Sometimes to do things, you just need faith. When I started YouTube, do you think I could see myself ever even getting to where I am now? I couldn't see myself getting to even 1,000 subscribers. Mate, I was saying by 25, I'll be monetized. Babe. I'm 22. Monetization's here. Things don't make sense when you follow God. God can do things and it doesn't make sense. God's telling you to do something and you're thinking, how is that going to make sense? How is that going to work? Like, it doesn't make sense to the human brain. And God's saying, I don't need it to make sense. I just need you to obey me. I just need you to do what I'm telling you to do, because you don't know how I'm going to work this all together. It don't make sense when it comes to God, but it works. And sometimes you're too busy trying to figure out how that will work that you're delaying yourself from getting the results from that thing. And I want to encourage you that when God tells you to do something, do it. When God's leading you somewhere, go. It doesn't always make sense. It didn't make sense to me sitting on YouTube talking. I was thinking, God, I have nothing to offer these people in terms of my voice. What am I going to say to these people? You're telling me to start YouTube, and say what? And say what? And now I finally figured out that I had a gift inside of me that God put inside of me that I didn't know was there until I obeyed God, done what he told me to do. And in the beginning, it wasn't comfortable. In the beginning, it didn't look like it was working. In the beginning, I started questioning, did God really say this? But he did, because he knew that by me doing this new thing that I was uncomfortable with, a new version of myself would come out. And sometimes there's a new version of yourself that will not come out unless you do what God told you to do, because God has to lead you to somewhere in order for that person to come out. Because sometimes that person, that new version of you that's locked up deep inside of you, won't come out unless you're in a new environment, won't come out until you're in a new situation, won't come out until it's forced to come out, okay? Because you don't know what versions are inside of you until they have to come out. And sometimes different versions of you come at different stages of your life. But if you don't allow yourself to grow and flourish and allow God to lead you to those different stages of your life in order for different versions of you to be birthed, you're never going to get to the dimensions that are inside of you. And God has put so much things inside of you, but he needs to lead you to certain places so they will come out, okay? Stop trying to be in control of your life all the time. You're not always going to be able to be in control. That's just it. But when you allow God to be in control of your life, even when things look like they're going wrong, you know that everything is working together for your good. Because if God is in control, everything's working together for his glory. It may not look like it's working, but something is moving. It may not feel like it, but something is moving. There was a time when I looked at my YouTube channel and I said, God, you can't be in this if it looks like this. But God's saying, trust me. And I trusted him. And now look, it took one video for me to just kind of blow up to where I am now. And this is only the beginning. And I just want to let you know that sometimes when you allow God to lead you, it may not be comfortable. It may not be fun. People may ridicule you. People may think, what are you doing? When I got saved and I gave my life to God, I didn't have much supporters, okay? When I decided to start YouTube, start preaching all this stuff, I probably had 2 supporters, and that's it. One is a really close friend of mine, and 2 is my dad. And even that, he made certain comments, but that's because he didn't understand. But now it's like, I have so much supporters. And what you need to realize is in the beginning, people won't always support what God's telling you to do. Because God gave you that instruction. He didn't give that person. In the beginning, you may start thinking, what will people think of me, or this and the other. Sometimes God's telling you to start preaching his word. It could be evangelism. It could be starting a YouTube channel where you're just sharing your faith through your niche. You don't necessarily have to get up on YouTube and start preaching. But it could be a thing where maybe you talk about fashion, makeup, but through that you incorporate your faith. You know, maybe God's telling you, you need to incorporate your faith more. You need to be a bit more vocal with your voice, because some of you have gifts inside of you that are meant to bring glory to God that you're not allowing God to use, that you're not showing to the world. You know, you need to start exploring your depths, because we all have depths inside of us that need to be explored. I didn't know there was so much stuff inside of me till I started obeying God. And it's very difficult to obey God, especially when you're not familiar with certain things he's telling you to do. It is very hard sometimes, which is why step by step. But I just want to leave you with the encouragement that allow God to be in control of your life. Allow God to lead you. And the way I allow God to lead me is I begin to seek him. I begin to spend time with God. I begin to pray to him. God, what do you want me to do? Lead me, God. And sometimes when I pray, he may not always respond to me in that prayer. But the way my life pans out, I can see that God is responding through his actions. Because God is not a God of words, but he's a God of power, demonstration. Because he will speak, but when he spoke, it's already done. It's already done. When he tells you to do something, he's already made provisions for that instruction. Okay, when he told me to start YouTube, he had already lined up all of you beautiful people to watch me, listen to me, and be encouraged by me. You see, just because you can't see the vision doesn't mean the vision isn't there. If God tells you to do something, it means he's already cleared the path for you to do it. If he's told you he's going to give you something, that means it's already done. If he told you to do something, it means it's already done. You will succeed. But you need to stop judging your success by other people's success, because the success that God gives you may look different. It may not be less, it may not be more, but it may look different. Trust that you are always aligned. Trust that God is always leading you and you can't go wrong. It may look like, oh my gosh, did I make a wrong mistake? But no, God is leading you. As long as you're allowing yourself to be led by believing that every decision you make is inspired by God, is ordained by God. You have to believe this, that no. Stop overthinking that, oh my gosh, should I do this? Should I do that? Allow yourself to just let go and say, do you know what? If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. But I believe that I am being led by God. And that's how I live my life. No matter what, I'm being led by God. I believe I'm being led by God. Because if you allow yourself to keep second guessing every little thing, you won't get anywhere, babe. Okay, I know what a thing or two about overthinking and second guessing every little thing. What I do, I just let go. I say, do you know what? Whatever. If this is good, it will work. It will turn out how it's meant to turn out. But what I'm not going to do is stay still and just keep overthinking. What I'm going to do is start making moves. Okay, so allow yourself to be led by God. Stop trying to do things yourself. Stop trying to get there. Stop trying to go in relationships that God didn't send you into. Stop accepting people into your life that God didn't send. Okay, but I thank you so much for watching L Talk, the Real Talk, my version of a TED Talk. If you like this video, please like, comment down below, and subscribe. If you think this video blessed you, then please share and turn on your post notifications so you never miss an upload. But I will see you in my next video. Bye.